Trayvon Martin lost his life to a Zimmerman. Hoodie on, Skittles in his hand. Maybe Trayvon would have had justice if the man representing Martin hadn't called himself Shananan. Though Skittles in his feminine ways gave the judge the right to say, maybe he should have shot Martin. Luther King had a dream that our kings would be respected, but it seemed like these kings' sense of dignity was neglected. All that marching Martin seemed like a prideful walk to end in your grave. How many times did you call yourself an NIGGA today? How many times did you call someone's daughter out her name today? We're losing ourselves in our own race. How many times did he shoot Trayvon before he realized he was already dead? How long is it going to take you to realize our life has no value? We have no cost in this land. We are strange fruit. Sleeping in the Garden of Eden, we have been stripped of our culture. Our minds verbally molested, beaten, bruised to be ugly like an infection. Even Michael Jackson told his melanin to beat it. We are frightened to be us again. Our women worship European hair, filtering their raw images just to be socially fair. We have to fit in because we're afraid to stand out. We have to fit in because they won't even allow us to stand out. This is the mark of the beast, stamping my people with a new identity. And if we're just being us, locking up our roots, they'll call it an Afrocentric expression. Another word for illegal alien. And then they will lock you up. Your pigment has been justifying with that pigment. When he shot your brother, don't call your lawyer for justice. He too knows it just is. Your white friends will bat their lashes at the backlashes when you are condemned. You can only be slaves. You can only be slaves. These jail rooms were custom made for you. And these men in blue are here to put you on the market. They are the brand ambassadors for you. Children, silence your tongues. Mr. Officer has a gun and he will make your soul a slave trade just so he can get a raise. Unless, my college friends, those of you who are smart, work for your masters, and with this degree you will have many fields to choose from. Unless, those of you who are smart, work and slave for your masters, and with this degree you will have many fields to choose from, but we will only allow you to pick what we like. The choice is yours. But we are not here to play games with you foolish monkeys. You guys are becoming insane, marching on paved lanes. Stay in your places. We handle our system because it's easy to scratch one of you uneducated brothers out, since all you love to do is hang out. We will crisscross and crucify these sons, kind of like we did Christ. But because Christ had the most devastating sacrifice in history, we must claim him white. Judge, do not let them free. We'll give them a new system. We'll replace the old chains and give them a gold chain. Replace the shackles and give them a wristwatch. Change the Negro spiritual, give them Illuminati, give them a fat black guy talking about his new Bugatti. Judge, do not let them free. Black and white are contrasts. We'll all be blinded if you try to merge the two. But even if we have your babies, you still want them to act like you. But he still had a dream. And my God still has a team called Believers. And we laugh at all this mess because it's just a small system inside of God's system. Don't rest at your flesh. Only you can give your soul to the world if you invest in it. So to all the priests, telling my brothers and sisters, until justice is served, we won't rest. Think again. Because when he marked 31st this verse, love your neighbors as yourself, there's no commandment greater than these. We became hypocrites, blinded by this hatred disease. It's going viral, even our pastors can't even see. Every time our blood drip, we want to see a white man indicted. Every time Jesus' blood drip, he cried to the heavens, praying that these men will stop seeing division, and in the kingdom of God, everyone will be invited. So before you and I, TY, the knots against us. So before you and I, TY, the knots against us. So before you and I, TY, the knots against us. Let's glorify the man who died for all of us. We are all sinners. So before you indict Zimmerman, think of how many more people who will never receive the spiritual vaccine before we all burn in this land. I don't consider myself having a passion for poetry. It's like therapeutic to me. So I usually just write as comfort, and just I feel like it's therapeutic to other people also when I perform. Two and a half years now, almost 3 years. Oh, well, honestly, everything is an influence on me. Like, I'll see something on the ground and it made me think about something because I'm such a deep thinker. I I may hear something that someone says, like an artist, but I do like to listen to other poets and a lot of good artists like conscious thinkers, and that's pretty much it. And I do like art. When I see artwork, it kind of influences me. Artist is Jhené Aiko. Well, people say Janae, but I call it Jhené. But she's like one of my biggest influences. I like her, and also a lot of like old school artists like Floetry, Jill Scott, Maxwell. I listen to like the old soulful music. I have two favorite poets. One is Langston Hughes. He's like from the 40s, 50s era, but I like how he talked about like the soulfulness of Black people and how it had a rhythm to his like poetry and the work. And also she's a upcoming artist. Her name is Jasmine Mans. I always watch her on YouTube. She's one of my favorite poets. But between them two, I rather like ask people that question. But I would probably say because like I actually take time to perfect my craft. I don't just write and say, okay, I'm gonna get it out there. Like if there's a word that I use, I always like go on the internet or go to a dictionary and find a bigger word or more meaningful word. And I also like, I look for a bigger metaphor. And then if I find that metaphor, I'll find a third metaphor to make it like three meanings. I also like, it's like the beauty of poetry to me is that people can interpret it in different ways. So that's what I always try to do with my work. Well, I first started out by writing in my journals. Then I would write in my iPhone in the notes section because my patience is very short and I can't just keep sitting there writing, and I feel like I could lose it anytime. But usually I'll write whatever's on my mind. I'll write it in my phone because my phone is always with me, or I usually get a lot of my free verse when I'm in the shower. Like I'm always just kind of talking to myself. I know it's weird, but I usually like whatever is on my mind at the end of the day as I'm just like just easing down, like all these thoughts that come through, and then I'll get out the shower and start writing down those thoughts from there. Right now I don't have a large goal, but I do want to affect people. Like I want whatever I say, I want it to inspire someone, and I want people to feel comfortable that, you know, someone else could say what's on their mind. And I always get like, oh, I was thinking that too, or I've been through that. So I want to be able to make people feel better or think about life in a different way after performing. Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Why?
Wordplay for one. It's like it's almost like drawing a picture to me. You're like telling a story through your poetry, and also just like making words mean different things to what you said. Like I can say a word and it means something else because, you know, like so many words mean so many different things. But yeah, it's definitely an art form to me. Also, when you're speaking, showing expression, showing emotion, all of that ties into one at the same time.
Okay.
I think poetry can like help people like understand how to kind of get your emotions out there, I guess. But also, I wish I would have thought about this question before you asked. But it's like, how do I put this into words? It's almost like music to me. Like when you hear a song, it drives you to a place. And poetry is almost the same. It's just spoken instead of, you know, the music behind it, the instruments and all of that. So it really captures people and it connects people also. That's what I should have said. It connects people.
That's all the question.
think my poetry would definitely speak for people in pain, people who are silent, and those who are like probably like stuck in their own thoughts, and also people who are, I don't want to say small-minded, but people who haven't analyzed where they are and how they are, you know, what their place is in the world. That's basically what I always say at the end of most of my poetry. Like, you'll start out where you can connect with what I'm saying and you're like, oh, I understand, and then at the end then you just like, oh, well, you know, maybe it's more than just that. So I basically try to get the biggest picture out of what everyone is going through in that certain situation, and I use my own situations to do so.